How many of you hate running? Hate running? Yeah, my church, that's my people right there. Well, I got good news for you today. You don't have to run anymore because somebody invented this thing called jogging in a jug. That's right, that's what it's called. It's called jogging in a jug. You can reap all the benefits of jogging without doing it. On their website, this promises to, it says, if you drink 2 ounces of this a day, it is the equivalent of jogging. It will alleviate heart disease, arthritis, lower cholesterol and triglycerides, and lower your risk of cancer. Come on, how awesome is this? Now, if you notice on the jug, they had to put this on there. There's no scientific evidence that jogging in a jug provides any health benefits. And only a man wearing an Alabama shirt would try to sell a product like this. Y'all really my church. I love y'all. You guys are the best. How about Michigan putting that on them? That's right. Y'all even cheering for Michigan now. That's my team. I've been a huge fan of them for years and stuff, so it's great. It's great. But what was I talking about? We were talking about the Bible, Jesus. Okay, let me come back. But what this product promises is the ability to circumvent the law of sowing and reaping. And we don't just do it in fitness. Like the same thing happens in our finances. This is why the lottery is so popular, right? This is why TV shows back in the day, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or Deal or No Deal, were so popular. Why? Because these things promise the opportunity to create wealth without putting in the work. Now their change is like, take my free e-course and learn about how you can make $250,000 of passive income without ever leaving your house, right? And so all these products that they're marketing towards us are promising us the ability to bypass this principle, but it doesn't work. God said, don't be deceived. As long as you are on the earth, the law of seed time and harvest is in effect, which means your health, your finances, your relationships, your life are all governed by this law, and it cannot be overturned. If you sow bad seed, you're going to get a bad harvest. If you sow good seed, you'll get a good harvest. And if you sow both, you're going to get a mixed harvest. But what you experience today is the result of the seeds you sowed yesterday, and what you experience tomorrow will be the result of the seeds that you sow today. Your life is the result of harvesting and happening. Harvesting is reaping what you did in the past, and happening is what happens because we live in a fallen world, right? There are things that happen to you in life that you didn't sow to. We live in a world where bad things happen to good people. The other day, I was at the mall, and I saw this woman who was outside crying, and I asked her what was wrong. She said, I lost $400. She was a single mom, and she was, there to buy a few things. She says, I took my wallet out of my purse, and it must have fallen out on the ground, and I went back to where it might have fallen out, and somebody else picked it up, and I lost $400. You don't know how bad I needed that money. And I felt so bad for her, so I gave her $50 from the $400 that I found on the ground. When God blesses you, you got to be a blessing. Right? I got you with that story so good. Come on. I got you. I'm just kidding. That didn't really happen. I know some of you are like looking at me like, I can't believe he would do that. He's a pastor. Y'all should have known the story wasn't true when I said I was at the mall. What am I going to go to the mall for? That ice skating rink they tried to set up out there? I got foam pads at my house. I got a gym mat I can put out in our living room, and we can skate on it. All right? What was I talking about? I got you guys so good on that. All right. Oh, yeah. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people, right? The Bible says the rain falls on the just and the unjust. Life happens to every single person. And so, you have no control over what happens to you, right? You have no control over happenings, right? In Genesis 8, it said that there are 4 things that are constant, right? It says as long as the earth remains, there's going to be seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. See, 3 out of those 4 you have no control over. As long as the earth remains, it's going to get cold, it's going to get hot. How many of y'all love winters? How many of y'all love winter? Yeah. All right, yeah, y'all love winter. Look, it doesn't matter how much you love winter. and how much you hate summer. You can pray against summer all you want, but guess what? In 6 weeks, summer is coming. Y'all have, well, summer's in 6 weeks? It is here. Not for the rest of America, but here it's going to get hot in about 6 weeks, right? Right? Yeah, maybe tomorrow. You don't know, right? It changes. I was like, wow, I'm like shorts and a T-shirt out there, and I walk out this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's freezing, it's cold. So it could be tomorrow. Who knows, right? You could stay in this church binding the spirit of darkness all day long. But guess what? This evening, it's going to get dark, right? Those things are constant, right? Cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, those three things are constant, and there is nothing you can do about those things. 3 out of the 4 constants in this world you have no control over. But guess what? There is one that you do have control over, and that is the law of sowing and reaping. And it's amazing to me how many people will complain about things that they have no control over and then do absolutely nothing about the one thing they do have control over. You get to determine the size of your harvest and what you experience by the seeds you sow. But instead, many people ignore that. Instead, sit around and they complain about the economy. They criticize politicians. They grumble about how unfair their life has been. They moan over their mistreatment, and they do nothing about the one thing that they have control over. It amazes to me how many people look at their life, hate their harvest, and then do nothing to change it. All right? They just keep doing the same thing, sowing the same seed, expecting a different harvest. But if you sow the same seed, guess what? You're going to get the same harvest. But if you change your seed, you can create and reap a new harvest. It doesn't matter what hand life has dealt you. It doesn't matter what circumstances you went through this last year. You can create the future that you desire through the law of sowing and reaping. So stop focusing on circumstances you can't control. Stop blaming all of your problems on other people. Stop attributing your lot in life to the devil or even God for that matter, and start sowing into the future that you want to create.